Welcome back. It is the face of Friday night. And I have the pleasure of doing the interaction. With me in the studio, I have David Ofono, all the way from Teso region. He is an assistant, an aide to Captain Mike Mukura. Which of the two?
An assistant.
Appointed by who?
And I have David Pulkol. If he's counting his goals, he says that they scored a hat trick. And I see someone here sharing it, saying that Mbabazi scored a hat trick in the first leg. Wasn't this the second leg? He was defeated in the first leg.
The first leg was 1-0, no, but scored by NRM itself, by Museveni themselves on their own goal. Now in this return leg, 3-0.
I have Chaz Romshana. Chaz, you've listened to both groups. Give me
so funny
your analysis. I've listened to David Pukol. I've listened to David Ofono.
I was in Rukunjiri, I think 2002, 2001, the VCJ election.
That's 2000, 2001.
Yes. Why this guy who was shot dead, I forget the name, the one they always something, the one they always talk about, I forget the name, I'm really very sorry. Why he was shot is that...
And the person that was alleged to have shot has recently been promoted to come to the police and head a certain unit. Carry on.
Lieutenant I was there. People have never tried to study what was the cause, what was the primer. They only addressed the consequence, the effect. The primer was Susan, the wife of Jim, took women dressed in the candidate, our candidate, Museveni, Mr. Museveni then, at Total petrol station. The same path where the refugee supporters were going to pass. Because that day was for Dr. Besigye. And Susan pressed those women of, they could call it work, women effort to return Kabuto or something, and dressed them, decorated them in the Museveni t-shirts. Now, when the Besigye crowds came and charged on them, started beating them. Now, I see a repeat in Soroti. This is an Amama Mbaba's day. Why would Ofono? Because he moved very, I don't know which cars he used, maybe those jet fighters. Because he moved from Tororo. I was monitoring.
I have a home in Soroti.
No, you moved from Tororo.
I have a home.
Shifted.
I have a home in Soroti.
You could even have a home in Chisoro.
No, in Soroti particularly.
But you moved from Tororo. We can even go and check the phone calls. Moved from Tororo at supersonic speed. Because even education, I was even carrying stones. Good you are here. And they decorated people with them 7 t-shirts. They even put up posters. So the first hostile act was the bringing down of Mr. Museveni's posters. That was the first hostile activity. The second hostile activity was to beat up those who were putting on Mr. Museveni's t-shirts. So the fundamental question is, then who sparked? Your presence in itself was a spark. Because this was not your day. This was
But we are citizens of the area.
No. That's not how they manage crowds. The moment you put up crowds, the moment you decorate another person's supporters into the crowds of another candidate, then you are expecting a clash.
And police is not ready.
Yes, you're expecting a clash. The other one is the shooting. So the debate is who shoots first. Yes, because bullets came from the crowds. That's true. I would agree with you that the bullets came from the crowds. But the reasons why the first bullets came from the crowds, there was a deal to harm. And the disagreement was, why should we kill visitors on our land? So they shot each other. And that's the danger I've been raising here, of raising militias. Because you see, the militia you have in Sorot, which you call Arrow Boys, was initially Uganda People's Army. It was a rebel group. my friend Mukura and the others are mere politicians who found it. They even, some of them by the way don't even know where it came from. It was Pito Tai. And it was also initially special forces. But it also has another wing that manages it, who are elders. And I say, but why do you want to kill a visitor here?
Muchiga.
What are the implications of killing? I don't want to go into tribes really. I wouldn't want to, because it tastes nasty.
Kadaga said so, yeah.
It tastes nasty. Why would you want to kill it? So they disagreed amongst themselves, and the first group to be shot are part of the scheme that was supposed to harm. And I challenge you, you bring those who are wounded, because you've hidden them. You can't trace them in any hospitals, but they were shot. They were shot, and it started from there, and it was extremely very enraging. So now there is evidence, because you brought T-shirts. There is evidence. There is evidence you brought posters to incite a fight. The stones are a different matter. We now must find out who paid for them, who sponsored them, and what was the intention.
Sponsored what?
The squads. Because you see, and you know what they forgot is that when they brought in those T-shirts, they were infiltrated. The disagreement is on, should we kill here or they should kill somewhere else?
Can I give information? Actually, they negotiated with those people who put on those T-shirts, who put the posters up, that their leaders would be paid 200,000, the next would be paid 150,000, and then the rank and file 80,000. But on that day, I'm told there was no money. So NRM culture again, people no longer want promissory notes; they want cash.
So and when we were discussing that was his information.
No, can I a little?
I want you to deny you survived being shot.
No.
Uh-huh.
I was the last person to leave that place.
Oh,
Not to the venue, but
I also
passed.
want you to deny, because we discussed it even here, how when you are advising people now they should walk because of the fire from both security and the civil people were armed. So, Mr. Chiwazo, the information I would love to give to our viewers is that there were squads. The intention of the squads was to harm. After some had thrown stones in the confusion, but they disagreed amongst themselves because they had been infiltrated, and they shot each other. And I would appeal to you that you bring those people that were shot, at least for treatment. Don't hide them. Don't. Now, what I'm still trying to find out is why the gunship went up. Because you see, Mr. Chiwazo,
my thinking is it was meant to scare the population.
That is a killer machine. That machine, if you go in Achori, if you go in Teso, literally every family that had a kid abducted has lost that kid to gunship. So to them, it's a symbol. It's a very serious symbol. When you raise it against like Amawa Mbabazi, they see Amawa Mbabazi together with the kids who were slaughtered by that gunship. It's not an entertainment facility that they always have it in our movies. And I know the system of M7, because later on they deployed special forces in the evening, didn't they? Long after
by 4 p.m., 2 trucks of special forces came, 2 Prados of UC entered town.
Because they had experienced a mutiny of their militia, the UPA. It disagreed and they were worried. So now we need to check to what extent had it been armed.
Gentlemen.
Yes. Hold on, let him respond. That is why I have followed.
Eyewitnesses.
That is not really true, because I can count over 15 witnesses. That evening, you are claiming that we were special forces. Surely, we had supper almost together in the same restaurant.
With special forces?
No. With your the crew, the people who were covering your team.
I don't expect special forces to come to where you have dinner. Excuse me.
You were free.
David,
you were free. Even when you left, you went for a radio talk show. You came back to Sorot Hotel. You crisscrossed, drove zigzag in town, moving left, right, center, and disappeared at midnight. People were seeing. Where were special forces? There was nothing like a special forces. And I must categorically put it clear here that the posters of President M7 were not pinned either that evening or even, you know very well it's the culture. Is our national
I'm actually
chairperson.
happy he doesn't know what time I left.
Is our national chairperson. Is our national chairperson. Whoever is making a banner and is an aspirant tries to put M7 one side and himself one side. Until recently, the Secretary General issued a ban saying you shouldn't include the president on your posters. Now, locally, what people have decided to do, in order not to violate the ban of the Secretary General, they print President Museveni's posters separate and they are separate. So he places his poster down and President Museveni's poster up. And for sure, there is nobody who mobilized the people like you are suggesting. Nobody was given T-shirts. You were in that crowd. Whom did you see putting on a T-shirt of NRM? Our members were involved in parish elections that day and were busy conducting their parish elections. I at least did not see. It was just by coincidence in the evening that a charm was coming from Sorot Hotel.
Putting on that T-shirt.
Who?
Let him carry on.
Nobody, not even him.
No, what I'm saying, of course, I can put on a T-shirt. This is my party, if I so wish. But what I'm saying, that nobody bought T-shirts or even printed posters for whatever reason. I'm just putting it categorically clear here.
Even all those
I'm being very honest.
I'm on the floor. Now I doubt it because I've just been with you here. You know, we have met before. Yes, we have met before, and you know the respect that I used to have had.
No,
for
but
you.
nobody
It
printed
may
T-shirts.
change now.
That is also blackmail.
No, but that's the truth.
no.
You know, we are talking about matters of life and death.
No,
and
no.
and the guy is defending is my very good friend. You've admitted here that the situation was so hostile that they even hit a vehicle.
A vehicle of our youth brigade.
Which was
Which
was branded.
No, the vehicle, that is...
But you see, look, you were doing surveillance. That's why you were able to dot how Prukor was moving. Don't think you're not also being monitored. You are doing surveillance. Literally, even at the bridge, Awoja Bridge, you had even put a team of women that were going to an address. You don't know how they evaporated, how all those units were neutralized. So they put various units, decorated them, branded them, but the purpose was to unleash violence. What we now need to investigate is how the message moved to neutralize them. And what I'm raising, therefore, is, and that's my worry, that the militia is divided. It's armed, it's organized militarily, and it is divided. And
Just
you're shooting at each other.
The army is divided, the police is divided, militias are divided, society is divided.
Jesus Christ. So the question is, how do you move from here? Because I wouldn't want to lose you to a guy who is close to you, who is disagreeing with you. You don't have adequate intelligence. So let's now go for the collapse of the hate message. And that to me is my central theme. Because the central theme has been that we hate a mama, he should not be on the ground. So the campaign has been, he should not be here, he should be hated. Let's change the message. I may not agree with Peter Chivazo, but that you are a candidate, be welcome. Whoever wants to listen to you, listens to you. But the message they are having in the entire Eastern Uganda, Northern Uganda, is a message of hate. And unfortunately, the population has had a very nasty history. In the south, in the central, they've been branded as killers, abatemu. You have scales in Ruero, and they are tagged on them. Now you again want them to kill a visitor in their land. And some are saying, no, we can't have this. And it's a very dangerous disagreement. So my appeal to you and to my brother Mike and the others, let's change the messaging. And the messaging should be the messaging of love. That we will disagree politically, we will disagree in the program, whoever will want to vote, whoever wants to vote.
Of course, I talked to Captain Mukula this afternoon, and he tells me the Mukula I know, he does not insult, he does not fight with people, and he says that is not his nature. Even when he was imprisoned, he still smiled away and moved on.
Yeah, but you see,
Fine.
but you see the conversation that is coming from ground is the conversation of hate. The demonstration is, because if I would agree Mike Mukura was not involved in carrying the coffin
In Gulu.
But that the moment he identifies with the one who carried it, then it's a problem. Because the one who carried it is with NRM. The first thing you should do is to condemn it. And I would invite you to condemn it. If it is the day for Mao, don't put on Museveni's T-shirts. If it is the day for Amama, don't. If it is the day for Museveni in Kanungu, Amama shouldn't also put on Museveni's T-shirts. And then we'll find a mechanism on how we will do peaceful election. Otherwise, you've armed the population, you mobilize the population, and it is on hate, and it is seeing the truth, it is getting divided, you are already beating it, you are raising gunships against it and jets against it, and it's going to turn on its own local leaders.
Very briefly.
Very briefly. Tomorrow, Electoral Commission is having a press conference at 3 p.m. together with the Attorney General and the police, 3 arms of government.
3 p.m.
At 3 p.m.
At
the Electoral Commission
were you
boardroom
invited?
on a Saturday.
Were you invited?
Government agents are known to work from 8 to 5 p.m. on a weekdays. What is this agency that brings them together? Why the panic now? And I'm saying the contradictions that it is a Rwakojo, it's a EC which complains long after receiving a letter, which raises issues on behalf of. So now, police becoming the interpreter of the law, becoming a judge. Now, if Amama Mbabazi is violating a law, why does an Attorney General take Amama Mbabazi's team to court and allow court to give either a temporary injunction, okay, or to dispose this matter? Why should it be the police to complain, the police to interpret the law, the police to become prosecutors, the police to become judges, the police to enforce their own judgment? Okay? So this defeats rules of natural justice. What is this police? Who is Isabiri Haruna? Who is this police? Are they home guards? Did they go through the law? Do they know the principle of natural justice? This is about citizens' rights. I'm talking like this because 2 things. We are citizens of this country. We are not visitors in somebody's sitting room who have come here and will go away one day. We are not refugees that are lost, that we have strayed away from a refugee camp. This is our rights, citizens' rights. So, police, you have the law in your hands. Judiciary, you have the law in your hands. Electoral Commission, you have the law in your hands. Really, why don't you then allow the judiciary to pronounce itself on this matter?
Okay, you are being told police, Attorney General will explain their actions against Amama Mbabazi tomorrow on Saturday. And they say as an independent, someone else comments, as an independent, Amama Mbabazi doesn't have structures to consult, and therefore, where was he going to consult? Consultation should be restricted in 2 consultative rooms. You do not consult
what
at...
does the law say?
Listen, let me read the message.
Okay.
You do not consult at a political rally. Then Kamoti says, Charles Romshana, why do you attempt to scare Ugandans? You were not in Soroti. You were not in Mbale. You were not in Kapchorwa. The people that were there have told us that police lobbed tear gas into them and they ran helter-skelter. Now you are turning the picture to say people fought against each other, drawing guns. Come on, Charles. Raise above this.
You called him who?
Kamoti.
Kamoti?
K. Amoti.
Now, just spare me that one. Because when I was discussing with the gentleman who was there, he was not contradicting it. You were here. Maybe if you didn't understand his language, it was simple plain English. He did not contradict it. The only issue we may differ on probably is the intensity of the fire. But he admits fire came from the population. There is evidence already in the Jinja that the human shield around John Patrick Amama Mbabazi is short. He admits it. Because those people you see around Amama Mbabazi are mere human shields against an armored vehicle. By the time you have weapons moved, because the ring around the former prime minister is supposed to be security. But now it's the other way around. Security is away from Amama Mbabazi, and you have fire towards Amama Mbabazi. So who shot? Why was there fighting around the person of Amama Mbabazi? Was there fire coming from Amama Mbabazi to the other party? What prompted the firing? These are simple things. It's simple logic. You want to see your soldiers from nowhere started firing? That can't be. So bullets were there. That's not in dispute. I mean, I'm interested in knowing where the injured were taken and where they are being treated from, and explain how a person who is closer to Amama Mbabazi is shot. and specifically the leg.
Well, first of all, I want to assure Ugandans and all viewers that the person of Dr. Flight Captain Mike Mukula is a gentleman.
He's a doctor?
He is a doctor.
There are many doctorates
PhD.
degrees
He
these
holds
days
a
being dished
PhD,
out left, right, and
PhD
center.
holder.
Honorary degrees.
Now,
Yeah.
first of all, he is not that type of a person who would want to involve himself in skirmishes of any nature. And you know, it is erroneous for somebody to suggest because Omona was cited a day before in Soroti, therefore he was mobilizing. Honorable Omona, for heaven's sake, has a home in Soroti.
Excuse
and
me,
is from
let them
Kasarani.
speak for themselves.
You get the
You've
point.
spoiled
it.
No,
Why we
no,
brought
no,
a mama
no.
to that hotel?
Let me tell you. Then
You
too,
man.
why would you choose even Honorable Chweru for being at his home in probably Amuria?
This is the issue.
What is the problem with him being at his constituency? People are campaigning. So I think people should stop looking for reasons. For any reasons. I'm telling you.
Look at the picture.
Where would
So-
fire come from toward those human shields around Amam Babas? If it's not return fire, why would you fire in that direction if you are not aiming at the person of Amam Babas?
And
So
those,
personally, I think let's practice
let's
Senate
get
politics.
those
Let's
cartridges.
allow the electoral commission do their roles. Of course, it's good that Attorney General tomorrow will be clarifying on where probably there are some excesses. But I think
Why
in
didn't he go to
Soroti,
court?
police acted so professionally. In fact, there was no even a...
Have you heard the story of
reinforcement.
Ginger?
We only had one pickup, by the way, that white pickup, that ran around and was taking actually some casualties, both civilian and maybe some police officers who were hit.
What was the cause of the injuries?
Of course, people were throwing all sorts of objects, including, I'm told, some people had some bows and arrows, in fact, from the crowd. And I don't know for what purpose.
The police has not displayed those.
We
so
we
don't know.
must blame the organizers who incite the masses, the local people, into becoming a little bit hostile in a manner that does not. Yeah, because the leadership, the message we give to people,
Yeah, but you see,
is what
the
matters.
blame goes to the militias, the one who organized the militias first.
Viewers, I'll
As
take
long
a break.
as you're organizing militias for-
Charles and David, I'll take a break. When I return from the break, there have been other developments carrying on since then. Today, finally, about an hour or so ago, Mr. John Patrick Amama Mbabazi has signed his protocol papers, has appended his signature on the protocol of the TDA, and as well he returned his papers to vie for the candidature of the TDA almost an hour ago. And that's where we are at. I need David Hulko to give me the mechanics of this. What does it mean? How is it going to play out? Charles Romshana needs to give me where is the feel of this. Would you rather have a 3-horse race and a Mama Mbabazi Besije Museveni race? Would you have a pairing of Mbabazi and Besije and one of them running as a running mate of the other? Ofono, does this make the job easier for one General Yoweri Museveni? I've had other talks around the table today about reforms. I know that the FDC today talked about reforms and they drew a line in the sand. They are saying 18th of September, there must have been negotiations for reforms, or they don't tell us what is in the all. Don't go away.